And we're live.
We're so back.
We're back!
It's like we did.
Yeah. For everyone banging down my door, flooding my inbox, where are the rankers? To all 7 of you. Here we are. We're back.
We are
You
live.
asked, we answered.
Yeah. Great pod. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Maybe. You'll never know. All right.
Yep,
y'all
we're
later.
busy. We got to run.
Yeah. You'll
we're
get the rankings in writing.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. This is paired with a little.
This meeting could have been an email.
This could have been an email. There's a show doc for a reason. So yeah, we're back. It's been a little while. It's been a hot minute. We had a fantastic sub in a couple weeks ago in the form of Sam. So shout out to Sam.
That was great stuff.
And hopefully we can have him on here in the future, kind of giving us more of that data. I really liked how his data had me at 3rd place. That kind of. Anyway, I've already broken a cardinal rule. Moving on. Let's just dive in. Should we dive in?
Yeah, the real reason that we're back is because my team is good again.
All of a sudden, no one wants to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about fantasy football, man. I'm into it now.
Oh wow, Justin! Actually, you really like Noah's team. All right, starting at 12, it is Bryn. He started the year at 12. He's at 12 now.
He just got a huge dub, though.
He did.
A massive dub.
That'll get his seeding probably to 12 for consolation. So yeah.
Fantastic. But hey, Bryn, now you can't you can now say you are lucky because you are now plus 2 in expected wins. So
He's +2.
plus 2. He should not have a single
his
win.
expected win is 0-9.
0-9.
That's rough, man.
So unlike last year,
All right,
when he was,
That is rough.
yeah, outrageously unlucky. This year he's kind of lucky.
And just for context, Bryn, last I
I'd still
checked,
say
was
that's unlucky.
pacing to have the worst season in the history of this league. The worst season was set by Cody, where he averaged, I can't remember exactly how many. It's in the 70s. And Bryn is in the 70s. And I think before last week, he was actually below Cody's mark. So,
Wow.
yeah.
With updated scoring and a half-point PPR.
At a half-point PPR. Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
we didn't do that back in the day.
that's brutal. Yeah, I mean, this is, I don't want to talk too much about him, but this is really a team that, like, I think on paper we talked about how the starting lineup looked fine, the depth sucked. Turned out most of the starters suck, and because he had no depth, he had nowhere to go, and he's just been shitting the bed.
Yeah.
Moving on to 11. A little more hope in this squad. It's Jacob. Jacob's a consensus 11. Gets a big W against me. And feeling pretty good at 4 and 5. Like, what can we be excited about, Justin?
Well, he's right on the playoff bubble because right now 4 and 5 is in the playoffs. So, hey, we're not super high in the squad,
Santos
but
is 4 and 5.
he can squeak into the playoffs from this
Oh, no, we're talking
position.
about Jacob.
So, that's positive.
Yeah, and some good players here. Jones, Harris, end of list.
Hey, Kareem Hunt has been great.
Kareem Hunt,
She has been
sure,
great.
but
I didn't even know
Pacheco's
Philly were
back
coming for him.
in 2 weeks. Like, he won't be there for the playoffs. Maybe you just get there. I don't know. I mean, Hunt has been good though. You're not wrong. I won't take that away. And hey, waiver wire darling Quentin Johnston.
My goodness.
Holy shrimp! Like Jacob was like, "Yo, I'm struggling. Cooper's out. I gotta find someone on the waiver wire." Just finds 20 points lying around. So infuriating. But yeah, he's now a staple in this receiver lineup. Yeah, I mean, he plays Mark, so good luck. Good luck. Who doesn't have a tight end? Wait, hold on. Likely's out. Bowers on by. Anyway,
We'll get to him.
moving on. Santos at 10. And these three we all agree. Bryn's the worst. Jacob's number 2. Santos is 10. Santos is at 10 after trading away his quote-unquote best assets. And let's break down those trades, shall we? Let's
that
dive
seemed to
into
improve his team. They were holding him back.
They were holding him back. So Santos, in a flurry of moves before the trade deadline, trades away Dak Prescott to Noah, picks up Zach Ertz in a 9th.
Thanks for nothing.
He trades a 12th or a 13th away for a 12th and gets rid of some fab. Justin, how much fab did you get off that? Or get? Yeah,
Did I get 4?
sure. It doesn't even show me. On
I can't even remember.
it just says the
Oh, I
picks
can
here.
check.
But you bought a pick with fab. That's the first time that's been seen. I think that's not the last time we'll see it in the league, and I think it's very interesting. I like it.
It was $4.
So apparently, a 12 to the 13 to 12 bump is worth $4. It's the only data
That's
we
the
have in the market, but we'll see what happens. Santos goes back to the wall on Noah, gives away Terry McLaurin, gets another 9th. Wait, didn't he already get a 9th from you? How did you get 2
Yeah,
9ths to give?
so that was originally going to be an
he gave you a
10th.
9th. Yeah.
Yeah. Originally, I was going to get a 10th back when it was going to be Demario Douglas, but he wanted Downs instead, and we renegotiated the deal because I sent him a 9th, and then he sent me back a 9th. Because I sent him a 9th for Prescott, and then he sent it back to me for McLaurin.
And he gets Josh Downs, and this one was actually kind of perplexing to me. Not that I think Terry McLaurin's a great player, but I'm very, very high on Josh Downs rest of the season if Joe Flacco is starting.
Yeah, it was tough to let go the potential, but I was really just going after McLaurin, and I wouldn't really be playing Downs anyway.
Sure.
So it was worth it to me. Also, Flacco's old.
Flacco could get hurt and then is back to the dumpster for Downs. Makes another trade, picks up Jacoby Myers and a 10th, gives away Stevenson. This one's kind of interesting. It's a nice little depth bolster for Kessner. Picks up his old flame and Ramondre Stevenson from last year, gives away Jacoby Myers. And Myers has looked good too, has he not? Am I crazy? Like, there's no one
I've
else
never
to
watched
throw
him
to.
play.
Yeah, I can't say I watched him play, but he did put up 14.5 last week, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, without Adams there, the targets have to go somewhere other than Bowers, and Myers is getting it done. So Santos, again, doesn't, takes a little bit of a dip, picks up some draft capital, moves on. But let's talk about the real juicy deal, the one that went down.
The big kahuna.
The number 1 running back in fantasy football on a struggling team gets shipped away. He picks up a 3rd and a 6th with a 5-round bump for each, kind of. 3rd for an 8th, 6th for a 12th. Also picks up Cortland Sutton and Tony Pollard. And this is the biggest deal we've had all year. In a league year that did not have a lot of trading, gentlemen. Very down.
Yeah, it really
that'd be
didn't.
interesting. Yeah, how many trades? It'd be interesting to know. I don't know if we can see it, but like how many trades this year compared to previous years.
You might be able to sort transactions by trade type. You could on NFL.com. I don't know if you can here.
I can see it all. I can see all the trades. I'll have to go back and count them. Santos was the most active, obviously, with his waiver wire or his deal scurry at the end of the trade deadline. But overall, very little trades happened. I think.
Yeah, I would concur.
And what do you guys think about this deal? We can talk more in depth about.
When
Just
I look at
on the
this
onset.
deal,
On the onset.
I think back to what Justin said. I don't know if it was on the pod or when we were just talking, but we were talking about the rounds that you pick a starter. I think you guys were comparing your draft capital for this draft, and Justin, I think you said like your top 8 picks or something are starters, or
Yeah, I
top
think it's
7
8.
picks.
Top 8.
Yeah, that
I
was
think.
after the draft. Great
So
listen. If you guys haven't heard that pod, go back and listen to it. Anyway, go ahead.
I think he's right. And when I look at this trade, he's trading away the number one asset for essentially 2 starters this year and 2 starters next year, which is pretty good value, in my opinion. Because like the difference between a third and a first might not be that extreme, but getting 2 starters back for your consolation run and then 2 starters next year as well, bonus starters, could make your team very deep, very durable. So I think it was a good value overall.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if I were to nitpick it, I mean, I would prefer to have a second or a first, just because the hit rate is so much better on a second or first compared to rounds 3 onward. Obviously, every year is a little different, but that's generally, I think, the case and the way we look at things. But yeah, by the way you're looking at it, no, I think it's good value, and it got him a win. So.
Yeah, it worked immediately.
He's back, baby. Who's talking about consolation? Santos is making a run at the playoffs.
I mean, he's in the playoff hunt, so
Literally.
That would be amazing. Trading away Derrick Henry, making the playoffs.
That'd be great. Yeah, he trades his team away, makes the playoff, gets knocked out immediately, and is like, "What was it all for, man?"
Yeah, that is actually going to be a fine line, like because he actively wants to compete in consolation.
Right.
So like,
but not make the playoffs.
Yeah, not make the playoffs.
So he might have to throw suddenly.
My team is too good. Yeah, as someone who has thrown around high draft capital, I do think I would have wanted more for the number 1 running back. But hey, Sutton and Pollard performed this week in some tough matchups as well. So if it keeps him relevant with the future, good on you, Santos. Good on you. He texted me and said, "Why can't my fantasy draft be as good as my trades?" And I said, maybe that's the secret sauce. Maybe you draft and then you trade everyone away. Like
yeah,
get
there
what
you go.
Get, and then send it.
That's
send
pretty
the
much
farm
what I
to
do
me.
every year. So
that should be your challenge. Have a complete team overturn.
Yeah,
Not have 0 players that you drafted by the end of it.
I've almost done that. I think
I bet you have.
2 years ago.
I wouldn't
got
be
away with,
surprised
like,
if someone's
one
done that.
player.
one of my championship years, pretty much my entire roster was from the draft was not on the team by the end of the season. So
Yeah.
because I have
It's an
terrible
interesting
drafts, so
metric to look at.
I just throw them all away. Let's just start over.
Every year, Justin, I feel like you come out of the draft and you're like, "This is the one. This is the one. I fixed it. Like I'm doing so good." And then we get to week 4, and you're like, get rid of everyone. Reset. Hit the reset button." Every year.
Ironically, this year I actually did pretty well. I just still sent everybody away and then tried to give them all back. Tyrone Tracy, get back here.
Dontavian Wicks. Wait,
Yeah, get back. You look good for a week.
man.
DeAndre Hopkins. Oh shoot.
Oh yeah, man.
No.
Oh man, that would have been so good if I kept him around.
Cut him away too soon.
All right, moving on. Good job, Santos. Moving on. We got Sam at 9. Noah, you got him at 6. Tell me why you got him at 6, because Justin and I both have him at 9.
Because I'm living in the past. And he has a lot of names on his team. A lot of names that make me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, Like, ooh, that's a great name. I like that name.
It's so true.
No, but I mean, you look at the potential and it's like, wow, if this team gets rolling, it's not like they're all on IR. Like you assume McCaffrey is coming back.
Oh, he's back.
If he makes it into playoffs, he could like wipe the floor because the ceiling for McCaffrey, the ceiling for Hill, the ceiling for Nakua, Laporta, Burrow, Josh Jacobs, and then you have Reed in your flex, who I assume he would put there is like up there with Mark's team in terms of potential. for like a 1 week scoring opportunity. So with that in mind, I think he deserves to be higher than ninth. But that's where he is, and he is on a 4-game losing skid, so I think it's a deserved place.
Justin, you want to touch on this?
Yeah, I think I would have had him higher, but I'm starting to doubt some of the names. Like we see we know the potential, we know it's possible, but like Tyreek Hill, Tua's been back. We haven't seen a Tyreek Hill game. You know, and so this guy, and then like who else? Where's these other guys? I mean, Burrow's playing great, which is good. Laporta, we haven't seen it. He's supposed to be a top tier tight end.
He's
We
been
haven't
okay
seen
the
it.
past couple weeks.
He's been fine.
He's been fine, and so that's my concern, I think. And then McCaffrey, like I will believe it when I see it.
Literally, none of us have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. we
have
don't
not seen
know.
it.
We just don't know. We obviously know he's
currently-
a good player.
Hey, don't. Oh, you looked at it too.
Running
Okay.
back 505.
I was going to say that too. Just a bit off from the number one. So
just
close.
outside the number one overall pick. Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I think Javonte is going to lose his job here in a minute. He looks so promising, and I think that's just been like the story of Sam's team. I think no, you're right in terms of like where this team can go. There are a few teams in the league that can find the potential that this potentially has, but still a lot of ifs, and we're on a 4-game losing streak, and you know him and everyone at 4 and 5 right now, like we're kind of in the playoffs already, kind of like every game matters now, especially coming in divisional play.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And so I mean, luckily he gets a Santos team that's revitalized, so maybe he gets an easy W here. But there are going to be some big divisional matchups that I think that will set the lineups, like him versus another team in his division, and that's going to be the same across the whole league. Finding those wild card spots, I think that our number one teams for each division are kind of locked in, other than maybe the pro division. So yeah, it's an uphill battle for Sam, but I agree with both of you guys. Haven't really seen it. Also, if he gets there, it could be a juggernaut. Moving on to 7. So at 7, we've got Justin. Justin's rocking in at 7. And I'll talk about Justin a little bit. He's got the double Falcon in terms of London and Robinson.
On Justin's team.
Chase is awesome.
The wide receiver one.
Yeah.
Chase has been insane.
He's been fantastic. Kincaid has been looking better, and I think Cooper has kind of buffed the offense for the Bills, but also like I think he's gonna. I don't know. Kincaid's hot and cold. There are worse tight ends you could have. The upside of Kincaid, I think, is there. I'm not really in love with his bench, but he's been putting together some solid victories here. I've got him at 8, but we're all kind of floating right there, 8, 7, 8. It's a quality team that can get you on any week. And the highlight to me personally, we talked London, B-Rob, they're all good. Is Tyrone Tracy has been a revelation. So hopefully that can continue to carry you, Justin. No, anything else you want to add?
No, I think the ranking is deserved. Another 4 and 5 team, kind of fringe playoff team. I haven't been monitoring your team that closely, Justin. I apologize. So I don't have a lot to add here. Do you have anything to say about your own team?
It's to me it's like it's a fringe playoff team. I don't think it quite has the legs.
You traded for McConkey, right?
I did. I traded away Pacheco, and that was kind of me admitting that like I just don't think this team has maybe the legs to win a championship. I would have kept Pacheco if I felt like I had a chance to make playoffs, and because I think he has more upside than McConkey, but I wanted to get some pick capital back, and I think I'm a quarterback away from this team being like a real contender. I just have struggled to find any sort of consistent production out of the quarterback.
Bijan has been good.
Yeah, he's been
I
great.
didn't realize that.
He's been fantastic. Like the core.
How did you draft Chase and Bijan?
You didn't.
Oh, I
You
didn't.
Traded Chuba away for Bijan.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You
That
remember
was
that
really
number
What a
12 team we talked
trade.
about? That team that's sitting at the bottom of the dumpster for the fire, who's about to lose his
Why did that
RB1,
trade
Jonathan
happen?
Brooks, coming off of Justin's IR slot. Yeah, that happened. It was Chuba for B-Rob straight up. No picks. I think
I got
actually
$5.
Justin got fab too.
I got $5.
Justin got paid to give away Chuba Hubbard.
He didn't even have a slow start though. I don't understand it.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's
It's
RB4
like
now.
13, 14, 12. That's like at least RB2 numbers.
Justin picked him up
Probably low end RB1 numbers.
2 days before he put up 24 points.
Oh, so it was a week 5.
Yeah.
Huh.
Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
it was right before Carolina, and it
I
worked
was
out perfect. It was the
building
perfect
a
sell
trial
high, buy low.
I was building a trade offer for Bijan Robinson. I hadn't even like broached Bryn about it because I wanted to have an offer ready, and then that went through. I was like, what
Dang.
is this insanity? But hey, there he is, fighting for a playoff spot. All right,
Yep.
good for you, Justin. Just don't win everything. You make the playoffs, don't win, please. We'll never pass you at 4. All right, moving on. It's Kessner at 6. Kessner with the heartbreaking loss to Noah this last week. This team's good. I like this. I like the squad. Mahomes had his best week of the season. Ken Walker is normally good. B-Rob is normally awesome, but Eckler was fine in his place. Stevenson gives him some depth. A Brown.
I got lucky. I did not have to play against Kittle last week because Kittle has been electric. Absolutely monstrous.
Yep. And now he's got Pacheco, I guess, to give him some more depth later on in the playoff push.
It's cool to see Eckler actually have a good game too when B-Rob was out because it's like, okay, you have the verified handcuff there.
Yep.
But yeah,
Rome
oh my
Odunze,
gosh, these
though-
receivers are insane.
Rome Odunze, I don't know why it's on this roster, on anyone's roster. Marvin Harrison's been hot and cold. I think that's been kind of the disappointing mark for this squad. When he's good, he's really good, but when he's bad, he's really bad. And I don't know if you are managing this team, Justin, do you just kind of sit Harrison for good matchups and play like a more steady running back that maybe doesn't have as much pop?
Yeah, if you can.
You could definitely play Ken Walker over.
Yeah,
Harrison.
Ken Walker over Harrison
He's on
in a
bye
bad
this
matchup.
week, right? He's on
Yeah,
bye
he's
this
on bye
week.
this
But,
week.
Yeah,
but
I would
you'd-
definitely consider it.
You'd be playing like Stevenson, right? Like if you're starting B-Rob, Ken Walker, like I'm tossing Stevenson in the flex. Like I know he's going to get like 10.
Yeah, like if you just play the matchups between those running backs and wide receiver. Like to me, Marvin Harrison is not a roster like a starter lock. You know, you can totally. I'm totally fine sitting him down.
Yeah,
Which is
against the Jets
disappointing.
too.
But A Brown have been phenomenal, as everyone suspected. Amon-Ra is wide receiver 11. A.J. Brown missed time and is our receiver 31. But when he's played, this last week was a disappointment against the Jaguars. Otherwise, because he got hurt, right? Didn't he like hurt his knee or something?
Yeah, he hurt his knee.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's been a stud. Josh, nice job. And Mahomes finally put it together this week. After 10 weeks, finally went over 20. Do we think we see more of this in the future?
I think so. I think DeAndre
Yeah.
Hopkins does change the offense to a degree.
Hawkins is clicking. Kelsey is clicking. I think he's going to be around that 20 mark more often than not.
All right. Nice job, Kessner. Maybe this is in fact the year.
Definitely front runner for best team name.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. All right. Moving on. And it's Noah at 5. Noah, you and I both see you
It's
at 5.
me.
Justin,
That's
you've
where I
got Noah
belong.
at 3. Explain yourself.
Devon Achane is very good.
The truth.
Him and Jahmyr Gibbs, Ken's running back duo is good. I think I would take Achane and Gibbs over that running back duo. I'm
What?
just that high on that.
What?
So
That's a hot take.
That's a
maybe a little
spicy
hot.
one.
maybe a little hot, but because I think I like running backs that get receiving work, and these two are
Yeah.
the best. So.
The Dolphins' offense is
We'll
running
get to Ken.
through.
His
Achane
get
right
receiving
now.
work too. Wait, hold on a
I
second.
mean, yes, but
Like, it's not like. Okay, sorry. Can you? Sorry.
Barkley
talking
doesn't
about
get much.
yeah. So
Kyron?
anyway,
No, neither of them really get anything. I guess Kyron a little bit.
not as much. Yes, there's no way they get as much as Achane gives. There's no way. Yeah. So the tight end's great with Kelsey, especially now without Rashee Rice. Quarterback's a little bit of a problem, but otherwise,
That's a problem.
I mean, you've got depth, so I like the depth. I
I'm
like the team.
I'm optimistic that when Nico comes
you have
back,
3 potatoes. I mean, you have potatoes. You can use one of them, but you got 3 of them.
yeah, I'm optimistic that I'll be starting Stroud next week, and Nico will be back, and that'll help him return to form because it's been rough without Nico.
Yeah, that's brutal.
The truth.
Uh,
And I was hoping Prescott would fill in, but now he's gone. So
So part of my ranking and like why I have you above like Kessler and some other people is your schedule. He's got very nice schedules at the end of the season versus like Kessler
Sam
has a really
mentioned
tough
it
schedule.
2 weeks ago that I was going through the gauntlet and might go 0-3 through that, but I am so far 2-0 through that gauntlet. I beat Mark and I beat Kessner, and now I take on Josh Kobayashi, which will be a very tough matchup.
And then it's
But then you got
Santos, Sam, and then you, Luke, and then Bryn. That's very nice. That's
so
probably as good as gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so 10 wins definitely likely.
It's in the room. Yeah. Yes.
That's excellent. I didn't know about that. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, a buy should be in your future now.
That's epic.
Yeah, I mean, I like Noah's team. I think his receiver depth's really good. Garrett Wilson has just been better with Devontae Adams. Go figure.
Yeah, I think it took some time to get going. Like, he's a wide receiver 3, and 4 weeks ago, you guys said he was not the guy. Just saying.
I mean, he hadn't done it. He hadn't done it.
Yeah, he hadn't done it.
Like,
but I held out hope, and it's paid off. I don't think Moore is going to be any good. But yeah, with McLaurin and Wilson and Evans back whenever he gets back, it's very nice.
Yeah, hopefully your running backs will stay healthy.
That's the key.
All right, moving on. It's Guy at 4. I've got him the highest, and this team is very, very good. I guess maybe CD without Dak is a question mark. Do we have any data on Cooper Rush? While we look that up,
He's not good.
Producers. Oh, he's not good. Jaden Daniels, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Malik Neighbors. So good. They're all so good. They're very, very good. Ingram has been great as a tight end when he's been healthy. He's had really one bad game at full health. Otherwise, he's been fine. But yeah, Joe Mixon has been outstanding. And was this a 3rd round pick? 2nd round pick? All I know is when he took Joe Mixon, I was like, I like it, but I think that's like a little high. It wasn't high enough. And Daniels has been fantastic for fantasy and real life. Bucky Irving is a fine spot start and could take over more of that backfield. Yeah, not even playing CD this week because I like JMO too. I just like this team a lot. I like the depth. I like the starters. Maybe his total high ceiling isn't as high as some of the other teams, but his floor is all there. He lost to Bryn last week on a fluke Bryn ceiling game. It's like the highest Bryn scored all year. It was like 110 or something. You got Justin. You're lowest on this team. Tell me why.
I think it's because I'm worried about CD, and I am not as high on Neighbors as everybody else is. Like, I think we're getting the Neighbors had 3 good weeks coming out at the start of the season, and he's been actually not very good since then. So I have neighbors a lot of everywhere, and he's been the reason I've lost a lot of weeks. So yeah, I'm not as high on neighbors, and Cooper Cup is obviously a nice piece in the wide receiver room. Should be fine, but
Hope he
with
stays healthy.
Puka back, I don't know. Like that's a bit of an uncertainty. So I think I'm just not as I'm a little uncertain on the wide receiver core, and that's why I don't have him as high. But everything else is great.
No.
Yeah, no, same. Justin hit the nail on the head. It's like, yeah, you like what you're seeing, but there's just that level of uncertainty. But I mean, he's top 4, so
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about
the stature
before.
is there.
But yeah, but they're all here. Speaking of someone who hasn't really been here all season, but now he is at 3, receiver of the number 1 running back in football, who immediately paid off and was the RB2 on the week. And or wait, was he the RB2? Am I reading this wrong? He was very high. He was very high.
25 points.
RB3.
RB3 on the week. All right. It's Josh. Josh Kobayashi logs in, reigning champion. Captained by Josh Allen. He's got Derrick Henry, David Montgomery. Jay Jettas. It's been a stud.
Dude, he's so
People
good.
doubted. Jay Jettas has been.
I doubted.
Hopkins. But I want to talk about my favorite player on Josh's team. And it's Cade Otton.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tight end 3, Cade Otton. Yeah, it took some injuries for him to get there. But 14, 24, 17, 10, 10, 11 targets. He is the offense. And Baker ain't slowing down. Like, Baker's balling all year. Bake. Yeah, he's going to cook. And Cade is his best friend. And from the guy who has TJ Hawkinson hopefully going to come back here and do something for his team, this is a luxury in Cade Otton that's going to give him a positional advantage against almost everyone in the league. Like, I think he's pretty fairly matched up here against Kelsey. Obviously, Kelsey's found form again. We barely talked about him on No Squad. But otherwise, he's going to be an advantage. And he just got the running back 1. This team's very scary.
It's scary.
And we're all kind of hovering in the same spot with Josh here, the 3-4, but he's at 3 in the rankings. Noah, what you play him this week? What are you most afraid of?
I really wanted to trade for Hopkins, but unfortunately he saw the value there as well. And that was before he had a good game. That was after his 3.9 point game. But I'm afraid of that. I guess it is against Inverse, and hopefully it'll be covered by Surtain, so that should mitigate that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it was a good team before, and then he traded for the best player in football right now. So there's a lot to be scared of. A lot to be afraid of.
Justin?
Yeah, the wire. There's not a hole on this team. Maybe you could argue that the depth is not as great as some other teams, but it's just good. It's a lot of players. Josh, I don't know. Josh's team is generally find players that I'm not super high on, and then I get proven wrong. So, and this is happening again. DeAndre Swift, I didn't like in the draft. I didn't like Justin Jefferson. I didn't love David Montgomery, and here we are. So, yep. So maybe the bench is actually good, and I just can't see it.
Possibly.
Yeah. So good job, Josh, and nice job picking up L. Henry. Going to 2, and we all have him at 2. It's Ken Grenfell. Ken has found magic in his quarterback room. He can play nothing wrong. Cousins and Baker both have been absolute fire. Kyron Williams, a stud, RB6. Saquon Barkley, a stud, RB3. And if you guys haven't, PSA to you through PSA to the league, if you have not seen Saquon Barkley's reverse hurdle that happened this week,
I did see that.
You need to go watch it. It's a thing of art. It's art.
Doesn't really look
in
real.
motion.
It is literally art.
That's why we watch the game. Like things like that. Like we watch the game. It's fun. Right? Things like that happen, and you're like,
we call that poetry in motion.
Yeah, insanity. So if you haven't taken a look, reverse hurdle, like I I've seen several takes of like you don't see the play, you just see like Jalen Hurts react to it, or like the Eagles bench react to it.
it's
It's
so
like-
good.
It's like this is 55 dudes who play football every day nonstop reacting to a football play, and they're all like, "Oh my god!" You know, like craziness. And then let's talk about his stack in Darnell Mooney, wide receiver
Yeah.
12. Been fantastic. Justin, you've partaken of the Falcons passing game, a passing attack. It's juicy.
Mhm.
Devontae Smith has been good. But Chase Brown has been the MVP of this team.
Dude, Baker Mayfield is a quarterback too.
Yeah.
Yes.
What in the
Yes!
world?
Baker Mayfield is the actual MVP of this team.
Yeah,
Baker
I think
Mayfield
Baker
is
Mayfield is
so
the
good.
MVP.
No, I mean,
Didn't
dude,
he-
Chase
wasn't he a waiver wire pickup pre-week 1 that he
Yes,
started? And he
pre-week
got
1.
like 30 points.
Holy
didn't go-
mackerel.
didn't look away, and somehow he's also been playing the
That
right
is
one between him and
insane.
Cousins, who have both been playing well, but he's found the right one to play each week.
Yeah, I think Ken cheats on his starter. He's getting some divine intervention there.
Pittman takes a boost with Flacco under center. I think. Obviously, this last week was kind of rough against Minnesota, but I think it's a boost. And he was able to scoop up Mark Andrews, has been serviceable. This team has a good bench, has good starters, and has no holes. Like, in my opinion, there's the rest of the league, and then there's these top two teams.
Just
There's
got
a
Mark
gap.
Andrews down there chilling, just for when he needs him.
Is anyone countering that point?
I would put Josh. I think Josh is definitely
Is in that tier?
top tier. I think
The,
so.
the three? Okay, sure.
Yeah. But I don't have a problem with you saying it's the
Wait,
two.
are we talking? What are we talking about here? Tier breaks?
There's a tier break after Josh, let's say.
Well, are you including Guy in there?
No.
No.
Oh, I see. Luke had Guy at 3.
Yeah, I'm saying the top
that's
two, but Justin's throwing Josh
I
in
think
there, and
I
can-
think
can
I
take
agree with Luke here that there's a tier break at 2.
it. At 2? Yeah.
Yeah.
This seems crazy.
Well, that would mean I would that's how I would do it. I don't know. That's close because Josh's
yeah, and
team is a lot better than mine.
Nice job. Well, there could be another tier break. Like
Yeah.
A
It
tier
doesn't
for
have to
every
be
slot.
one. Yeah, tier break. Well, the bottom like 6 or whatever, we're probably all together. Ken, nice job. Anything else you guys want to talk? This team's crazy. It's a crazy team.
Yeah, it's a very good team. I will say I am worried not having handcuffed like Kyron or like I would rather have we're nitpicking, but like I would have definitely gone out and handcuffed some of these backs. Like you don't need Alexander Madison.
I mean,
I'd rather have like who's the handcuff for Rams? It's
Blake Corum.
Blake Corum. Yeah, I'd much rather have that. But
He's still
and that's
there.
nitpicking. It's nitpicking. So
It's not like he's been picked up. Like Blake Corum is sitting there,
well, go pick him up, Ken.
and then like the handcuffs.
You don't
and-
need Alexander Madison. You need your handcuffs.
But Alexander Madison is the starter for the Raiders. Like that's currently Madison has more value than Corum. I understand what you're saying.
But to this team, like
I guess so.
Madison will never
Drop
see.
Keenan
this-
Allen. Drop
Yeah, there
Keenan
you
Allen.
go.
don't
There you
need
go. Because like
him.
one larger trend across the NFL right now, and like fantasy in general, is that we're in a historically low injury rate for running backs so far in the year. So you can look at that and say, we're just going to stay at this historically low pace, or you can look at it and say, there's some big
Something-
ones coming. So
Derrick Henry. All right.
saddle up.
Moving on to the number one squad. He's number one in your hearts. He's number one everywhere except for on Sleeper. Wait,
I'd love to know-
There.
I mean, he never would have changed. I know we haven't done a pod every week, but he would have been one every single week.
I never would have moved Mark.
Yeah, I wouldn't have moved him out of one.
And I would have loved to know if this will be the longest reigning, like number one team.
From
Actually, I take that back.
week
I would have
6.
moved him out of number one for like 1 week. I think I would have done it, but
I don't think I would have. So with the aggregate, he would have remained at 1.
This team's stupid.
Because this is a long reign since week 3.
Yep.
And he's not slowing down.
This team is so dumb. This team is so dumb. All right, he's got
What
Lamar
waiver
Jackson.
ad
He's a
says Mark
quarterback
Dunn.
one. He's got Lamar Jackson. He's got Calvin Kamara, the wide receiver 2, or the running back 2. He's got Brees Hall, the running back 9. So it's 2 RB1s. He's got Zay Flowers, the wide receiver 10, and he has Nico Collins coming back, who was the wide receiver 1. So he has the running back 1, or the quarterback 1, the RB2, the receiver 1. He's also got James Conner, who's like the running back 13, so he's just outside the running back 1. Dobbins has been a stud at running back 14, so he has 4 running backs in the top 14 running backs. He has
Bowers
4 of
is
them.
tight end 2.
Bowers is the tight end 2. Metcalf has been a stud when he's not been hurt. Justin Sugna-Jigma is the wide receiver 13. Off a huge game, but like playable. Absolutely. Khalil Shakir has been great when healthy. He's missed a couple games. He's the wide receiver 24, and he's missed 2.5 games to injury.
Yeah, assuming all his players are healthy, he could kind of just like literally roll the dice and set his lineup and be good to go. Like, it doesn't really matter.
There's some obvious choices.
There's
like
no
Lamar
like
playing-
stashes. It's
Yeah.
all just like startable players.
I've never seen a team this deep, this high end drafted.
Is this the greatest draft we've ever seen? This might be the greatest one we've ever seen.
It might be.
It's the greatest. I mean, as of right now,
I want to take a look.
he has traded for 0 of these players. He's picked up 0 of these players off waivers. Other than like Geno Smith and Keaton Mitchell. You know, like not the guys we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
the Collins
crazy.
keep. You could argue Metcalf was maybe a slight miss in the second round.
He's a wide receiver
There-
18.
Doesn't
He's
matter.
a
There
wide
were-
receiver 2.
There were better players that could have been had there. But I mean, that's like nitpicking this draft because
Yeah.
every other pick is a hit. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I don't think he slows down. Like, obviously, it's every given Sunday. I think that's what he's competing with. Like, Mark is competing with luck. That, like, he started the third best lineup this week, and he happens to go against the number 1 lineup.
Yeah, but he left 40 points on the table.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good this team is. Like, if
Like,
he plays
Justin-
optimally, he's blowing
where-
everyone out.
Do we have stats? Like, where is he doing points wise? Like, I know he's put up over 100 every week. Is he gonna like make a run at most points scored in a year?
I
Ooh.
can take a look.
I bet he is.
He's over
currently
1,000 already.
He's at 118.75 average.
That's
record-
He averages almost 120 points a week.
1781 over 15 weeks, or is it over 14 weeks?
So that's 117. Wait, was it 118.75?
It's over 14 weeks, right?
Yeah, 14.
15,
No,
17,
he won't get it by about 120.
He's trending low. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Nico's coming
Our
back. so
our
let's see if
record
he
is
can-
1780.
1788. Ken in 2021.
Was 16 games?
It was. It's in the current era, so however many weeks, it's the same.
Oh, so
And
17
that was,
games.
I remember, that was the year that he lost in the second round of playoffs because Kelsey
It's been 3
was
years.
given the COVID D tag, and Cook missed 1 week, and it happened to be divisional round of playoffs.
Oh yeah, in 2021 they switched to 17 games, which gave us 14 games in
14.
regular season,
Yeah,
where it used to be 13. So Ken scored 1780 that year.
1788.
That is insane.
that's crazy.
That's just regular season, right?
Just regular season.
Divided by 14, it's 127 points per game. That is ridiculous.
And lost in the playoffs. Isn't that nuts?
I mean, no.
Yeah, it's fantasy football, baby.
It's fantasy football. It happens.
But yeah, I think this is the greatest team drafted. I think Mark texted me. He said, "Dude, I've held Likely on my bench because he didn't have the same bye week as Bowers, and he's out."
Not everything can go right, Mark.
Dude, I went 2-12 that year. I don't even remember this.
That's because you weren't plugged in. You name dropped.
Oh, that was
earlier.
the year I was working at Miller and just like tapped out of everything in my life.
You earlier
I
you
just, like-
mentioned, oh yeah, so and so's playing Denver. I think he'll get the Sertan treatment, and I was so shocked you knew this much football. Just
Yeah. I've been revitalized.
I was like, oh okay, no, it's
Are we going to keep you out of retirement, Noah?
Dude, I don't know. That's a good question. Seems unlikely.
But yeah, so there you go. There's 12-1. So 12, we'll go back up. 12 is Bryn, 11 Jacob, Santos at 10, Sam at 9, Justin at 7, Kessner at 6, Noah at 5, Guy at 4, Josh at 3, Ken at 2, and Mark at 1. What a great podcast, guys. It's good to have you guys back. Maybe we do another one next
so
week.
good.
Maybe. We'll
I'll
see.
check my
Maybe.
schedule.
Maybe.
I'll ask the girlfriend if I'm allowed.
Yep. Hey, I mean, shout out. Speaking of, shout out to our number one fan, Emily. Your life
She
has
made
got to
it
be
this
slowing
far.
down after the events of this week. So maybe, hey, we give Noah a little slack, give him a cookie.
Yeah. Let him go hang out with the boys.
with the guys and chat about football. Who does that anymore? All right, you guys have anything else? Or are we getting out of here?
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Adios.